What is happening, you wonderful people? So last night I got a chance to watch the first two episodes of Daredevil Born Again. And in this series, Matt Murdock finds himself on a collision course with Wilson Fisk when their past identities begin to emerge. And that's all I can say without giving too much away. This will be a non-spoiler review. I might do a spoiler live stream sometime in the next few days, but let's talk about it. So, if I'm going to be honest with y'all, I have only seen the first two episodes of season one. And I promise I am going to watch all three seasons in their entirety soon. I just never got a chance to really sit down and actually watch all three seasons fully. Now, when I watched the first two episodes of the first season, I really enjoyed what I saw. I really did. So I'm on board with everyone that I enjoyed it, even though I didn't see all of it. And going into this series, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't have any big expectations. I just wasn't feeling the hype. I wasn't feeling the excitement like most people. I wasn't on board like most people were. I was gonna watch it. I was excited, but I wasn't on board with how hyped and how pumped people were. So after watching this series last night, these first two episodes last night, it's good. So let's talk about the positives first, and then we will talk about the negatives next. So starting off the bat, the one thing with this show that I really am liking so far after these first two episodes, I'm someone who has enjoyed most of the Disney Plus shows so far. I really like Loki season 2. Loki season 1's okay. She-Hulk I like more than most people. Secret Invasion I didn't like. Spider-Man, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, I didn't like at first, but it slowly got better. X-Men 97, I was kind of having a rough start with, but then slowly got better. So overall, I like most of the Disney Plus shows. I really do. And this one is good. This does not feel like Disney-ified Marvel. It doesn't. And from what I've seen of the Netflix series, like clips and all that as well, this kind of feels different. Like, it feels like the Netflix series, but at the same time, it feels like its own thing. Like, it has the Netflix vibe of it, but it feels like it's part of the MCU now. Like, they reference a few superheroes, not gonna say who, but they reference a few superheroes in here, which is pretty cool. There are some great emotional beats, emotional moments. There are things that happen that if you read online, if you speculate and read rumors and you believe all that stuff, I think you know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to say what, but when you see it, yeah. All I'm going to say is that happened and wow. But the dialogue, the one thing with these two episodes so far is the writing is perfection. The writing is amazing. It's so smart. It's so just catchy, and the dialogue works, and I love the interactions between all of these characters. Like, there's a scene in a diner with Kingpin and Matt, and it's great. It's tense. It's gripping. These two episodes so far, the series feels raw, visceral, and it's so fun so far. It's so fun, and the acting's great. I love the acting. The dialogue's great. It's directed well, and I'll touch on the negatives later. I will. I only have two negatives, and one of my negatives has to do, I guess, kind of with the directing style in a way, sort of in a way. But in these two episodes, action is great. We don't get much action yet. We will down the line, but the action we do get, it's perfect. It is Daredevil like we've ever seen Daredevil, and it's brutal, it's visceral, it's raw, gritty, it's violent, and at times it feels more like violence than action. At times it is more violence than action. It is, and I feel like for the context of what they're going for in this series so far, it works, and it's Daredevil, so it's gonna feel like that, obviously. And it's just, I love the world building. They mentioned a few superheroes, right? And you just feel like this series, while we saw Daredevil in She-Hulk, while we saw him in No Way Home, and Echo, and while we saw Kingpin in Echo and Hawkeye, those are the same characters as these ones, but they feel different, and it feels like we're building out the MCU more, and it feels like Kevin Feige and Marvel are finally learning what they need to do to go back to Marvel that we've known. You know what I mean? Like this actually feels like MCU Marvel, Disney Plus MCU Infinity Saga Marvel. This is so far a great year for Marvel, in my opinion. I am loving this. I like Freshman, Spider-Man, Your Friendly Neighbor Spider-Man for the most part. Captain America Brave New World I enjoyed. So I think I know what Kevin Feige's doing because I know the Chapek era is now ended. And now I think this starts the newer era, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So far it's great. I love Charlie Cox and D'Onofrio's I don't know if you call it chemistry, but dynamic. Like kind of dynamic in the show so far. That's great. Yeah, it's very tense. Like every scene with Kingpin is tense. It is. And um there are a true sense of stakes, I will say that. And I love the score. The score is great. The sound design, like the aspect ratio of when Daredevil starts hearing what's going on around him, it's great. Like I love how they did that. Um yeah, it's great introduction. I love the atmosphere and the aesthetic and so far yeah, it's good. So now talking about the negatives, I only have two negatives. I'm just gonna fly through them real quick. I might touch on more about them real quick as well. The CGI is a little wonky. The visual effects, like the way it's directed, I love how it's directed and shot. There's some cool angles, there's cool directing style in this show so far in the show. But the CGI feels a little wonky. The lighting feels like a little bright, if that makes sense, and it just feels very unlively, if that makes sense. Like not so much the surrounding of the show, but just how it's like how the lighting looks, if that makes sense. Like the CGI feels a little wonky, and I have to say, I feel like the pacing is a little wonky as well. Like at times it's slow, but at times it's fast. But then, I mean, when it's not fast, it's mainly slow, and at times it was getting a little bored. I'm just like, they need to touch that up a little bit. But other than that, I was really enjoying the show and the only negatives I have. So yeah, it's a good show so far. I'm on board, man. I am on board, Marvel. So yeah, overall, these first two episodes, I think that this show is great so far. I'm hoping it can stick the landing, and I'm hoping that it can stay this congruent and consistent throughout. And yeah, I think that Marvel Chapek era is over, and this is now a new beginning for Marvel, leading into Doomsday and Secret Wars and beyond. I am truly excited for what they have in store for the rest of this season, the rest of this series, and Marvel with Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, Spider-Man 4, Wonder Man, Doomsday, Secret Wars. I'm excited for that. And with Daredevil Born Again, these first two episodes, both, I'm going to give both of these episodes a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I am really enjoying it so far. Again, maybe some CGI needs to be touched up. Maybe the pacing can be a little bit tighter, but the world building's great. I love the acting, love the dialogue, love the tension. And with Daredevil Born Again, I'm going to say definitely give it your time. And yeah, it's good. So that'll wrap up this video. Thank y'all so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, please do not forget to subscribe, like, comment, share on this video. We are at 812 subs. We just hit 800 a couple weeks ago. That's a big milestone. Next big milestone that we're reaching quickly is 900 and then 1K and beyond that as well. And if you're new as well, I do movie reviews, TV show reviews, trailer reactions, movie live streams, movie news, movie rankings, all that wonderful movie stuff under the movie umbrella. And let's talk about it in the comments below. Did y'all like Daredevil Born Again? Did y'all not like it? Is it y'all's favorite season, including the Netflix series? Out of the 4 seasons, what is y'all's favorite season so far out of all 4 seasons? Let's talk about it down below. Keep talking movies and wonderful people. Cheers.